What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today we just got an update in the CoD WW2 Beta, and in this update the most important change, at least for me, is that the sprint out times have been buffed on some of the weapon class types. So today we're going to be looking at a side-by-side comparison of the before as well as after for our sprint out times, so you guys can see this for yourself. So first up we have the SMGs, and the SMGs before this patch, they had a sprint out time of 300 milliseconds, which is extremely slow for Call of Duty. That's going all the way back to Call of Duty 4 sprint out times. After the update, it appears they reduced this to 200 milliseconds, which is a lot more appropriate, especially because with quick draw on SMGs, it was basically not working because the aim down sight time with quick draw was having to be extended to match our sprint out time if you ever broke your sprint by aiming down sight, and that nullified the effect of quick draw on SMGs while sprinting around. So now you can get fully aimed and ready to fire in an appropriate amount of time with quick draw equipped. Quick draw is no longer broken in this game, it now works the way it should, and this is excellent to see in my opinion. As for the rifle class, it appears we may have gotten a very slight reduction to our sprint out time. We're talking about 25 milliseconds or so, keeping in mind that everything here is hand tested at 60 FPS, and there is a bit of room for error there, so I could be within about a frame off on my testing, but I was getting fairly consistent results here. It definitely appears they've reduced the sprint out time on rifles by approximately 25 milliseconds. As for the LMGs, quite a noticeable difference here. It's still very slow for its sprint out time, but it's now been improved by approximately 50 milliseconds. We now get a sprint out time of 300 milliseconds with the LMGs. As for shotguns, it appears they've been untouched when it comes to sprint out time, and I think that's okay. I think they were in a good place before, and I'm glad it looks like they didn't change them. They seem to be right at 275 milliseconds. As for the sniper rifles, it actually looks like they got a little bit of a nerf in the sprint out department, but don't worry, nobody panic about sniper rifles if you are a sniper. All this is going to affect is your ability to no-scope somebody if you're going full sprint and you get caught sprinting. Your aim down sight time is still going to exceed this sprint out time, and therefore this won't have any impact on your quick scoping ability or your regular hard scoping ability. This only affects your ability to randomly no-scope somebody as you get caught sprinting. And with that, we're going to wrap up today's video. A lot of people might be wondering how Gunslinger works. Gunslinger is still working in the same way. If you break your sprint by hip firing, not aiming down sight, so the button that you press to break your sprint is the fire button, Gunslinger is still working exactly the same. You essentially have a 0 sprint out time. But with Gunslinger, if you break your sprint by aiming down sight, which most people will do, it's going to have no impact whatsoever on your sprint out time. So that's going to wrap it up for today's quick video. I'm sure a lot of you guys have been waiting for this change. What do I think of this change personally? Well, a lot of you guys that have been around the channel know that I've been pushing for this change. I really wanted to see this change made, and I'm glad they didn't take it too far in the other direction. So for those of you guys that didn't want this change to be made, you don't want rushers to be at an extreme advantage all the time, being able to just sprint around like a headless chicken, they still aren't going to be able to do that. Keep in mind, there's still a sprint out time, and it's still a noticeable sprint out time. So you're still going to be at a disadvantage when you're rushing around and you get caught sprinting. It's just less of a disadvantage at this point, and now quick draw is a viable attachment. So I think they found a good place for this. I have yet to play around a bunch with it. I just wanted to get this video out as soon as possible sharing my results. But based on the numbers themselves, this looks like it was potentially a perfect change to the sprint out time. And I'd like to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you think this was a good change? Do you think they took it far enough? Or are you upset that they made this change in the first place? If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.